Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth videos on your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday, so hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on your Green Bay Packers. Well, the first wave of NFL free agency is over for the 2026 offseason. Most of the big names have already switched teams. The Packers have said goodbye to some long-tenured players like Rashawn Gary and Elton Jenkins, and they brought in some newcomers like Benjamin St-Juste and Sky Moore. But the Packers have some key players with contracts that expire after the 2026 campaign. So GM Brian Gutekunst has some difficult decisions to make. Obviously, the salary cap will play a part in the decision-making, as will how some of these players perform in the upcoming season. Injuries, a whole lot of factors still out there. But here are a list of potential free agents for 2027. Keep in mind, we're talking only about unrestricted free agents here and players who at least play a fairly regular role on the team. First man on our list, and they're not in any particular order, wide receiver Christian Watson. Watson enters 2026 as the team's presumptive number one wideout. He became a more complete player after he missed the first 6 games of the season, came back from the injury and played well, catching 35 passes for 611 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 10 games. He's got that rare combination of size and speed that he can help the team by forcing defenders to cover him and opening things up for teammates. Now, he's going to play this year on a 1-year contract extension he signed last year, and probably extending Christian Watson will be one of Brian Gutekunst's higher priorities this offseason. Another high priority going to be tight end Tucker Kraft. He was on a record-setting pace for Packers tight ends before he suffered a season-ending injury in Week 8. The South Dakota State alum had 32 catches for 489 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 8 games last year. His biggest skill, besides good hands, is his ability to run after the catch. He has become an integral part of the Packers offense. He's entering the final year of his rookie deal this year, and assuming he returns to the lineup and shows no major ill effects from the injury, I think he will be at the top of the list or near the top of the list for Gutekunst to extend. Next up, cornerback Keyshawn Nixon. Nixon was the team's top cover corner kind of by default in 2025, although he's better suited to be a second corner. And he struggled with inconsistency last year. His play tailed off late in the season. At times, he played very, very well, especially, for example, against the Commanders early in the year. Only intercepted 1 pass, but did break up a career-high 17 passes. Now, Nixon will turn 30 next offseason, so his age may be a factor because Gutekunst only gives third contracts to a select few players. Barring a very strong 2026, I think this could be Nixon's last season in Green Bay. Next up, wide receiver Dontavian Wicks, entering the final year of his rookie deal. The former Virginia star had 30 catches for 332 yards and 2 scores. Wicks gets open, really gets open as much as any receiver out there, and when he's playing well, he is a difference maker, but he's inconsistent. And when he struggles, he can bring on some big-time frustration. He faces a numbers game with the Packers because they have 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends on expiring contracts. And the question is Wicks the one they're going to prioritize to bring back and earn that second contract in Green Bay? Defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt next. Now, Wyatt will play 2026 on his 5th-year option. The former Georgia star. Will Gutekunst seek to extend him? He's a good interior pass rusher, but he has trouble staying on the field. He's average at best against the run. Now, he had 4 sacks and 6 tackles for loss in just 10 games last year, but if he can stay healthy, he may earn another contract from the Packers. Next up, wide receiver Jayden Reed. He is primarily operating out of the slot, but Reed led the Packers in catches in each of his first 2 seasons in the league. He's a reliable target, especially on short and intermediate routes. And Matt LaFleur loved to use him on jet sweeps, end arounds, and bubble screens to try to get the ball into his hands. Now, he missed 10 games last year, caught only 19 passes for 207 yards and a touchdown. Again, that numbers game at receiver could be a factor, but I am a big Jayden Reed fan, and I hope he bounces back from the injury and shows why he deserves another contract. Isaiah McDuffie, the linebacker, is next. Now, he signed a 2-year extension prior to the 2025 season, so his contract is up again after 2026. The BC product is a reliable and intelligent linebacker who also provides leadership and plays on special teams. He started 12 games last year, made 92 tackles, had 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss. He's limited as an athlete. He, at least for an NFL linebacker, struggles in pass coverage, but the Packers kind of do a good job of protecting him at times. He also, as we mentioned, can play special teams. He could return on another reasonable short-term contract if he's productive again this year. How about cornerback Carrington Valentine? He's come a long way since the Packers took him in the 7th round in 2022. Started 11 games last year for the Packers, broke up 4 passes. He's okay in coverage, but his tackling is where he struggles. Off the snap of the ball, he is physical, does well in press coverage. He will have to battle Benjamin St-Juste for the starting job opposite Nixon, but I think unless he steps up his game in 2026, this could be Carrington Valentine's last year in green and gold. Defensive end Brenton Cox just signed a 1-year deal, so again, he's on his contract year, but next year he can be an unrestricted free agent for the first time. Look, coming out of college, Cox had the talent to be an early round draft pick, but off the field issues caused him to go undrafted, and injuries hurt him. Only played 4 games last year, still had 1 sack and 3 quarterback hits. He has to stay on the field. If he does, he could probably take over Kingsley Enagbari's role as the 3rd member of the defensive end rotation. And I think if he plays well, he could earn another deal from the Packers for 2027. Big one, how about Lucas Van Ness, the defensive end? First, Gutekunst must decide by May of this offseason whether or not to pick up Van Ness's 5th-year option, or he could also sign him to a long-term deal. Obviously, if he's signed, he comes off this list. He should become a starter for the first time in his career, and taking over after the departure of Rashawn Gary. We know Micah Parsons starts the season late, most likely, so Van Ness will be critical to the Packers' pass rush, especially early in the season. I could see him getting a long-term extension if he plays well this year. Only was in 9 games last year due to injuries, had 1.5 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, and he does play the run well. Tight end Luke Musgrave is next on the list, entering his final year of his rookie deal. The 2nd-round pick out of Oregon State, caught 24 passes for 252 yards last year, started 10 games, including 9 after Kraft was injured and lost for the season. Musgrave is more of a downfield threat than he is the short and intermediate routes, and the Packers need to utilize him more effectively, but they also need more from Musgrave. How about staying on your feet after you catch the football, too? We'll see whether or not Musgrave can earn a 2nd contract with the team. He'll need to play well, and again, that numbers game with all the wide receivers and tight ends coming up for new deals, Musgrave may not have enough room on the Packers to keep him and bring him back. And finally, defensive tackle Carl Brooks, also entering the 4th and final season of his rookie contract. He's been a solid rotational player at defensive tackle, showed some pass rush ability. in his first 2 years, but last year, just a half a sack and 5 quarterback hits. He'll need a strong season. And I think the addition of Javon Hargrave probably going to hurt him. And the Packers will also probably either draft or sign a run-stopping nose tackle, especially after trading Colby Wooden. So I don't know if Brooks is going to get enough playing time to prove that he should be the guy, but we'll see what he's able to do. Visit our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles on the Packers. Here on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, and of course, go Pack Go.